Welcome to the last part of this Excel dashboard tutorial. It's about HR analytic dashboard. So if you have not watched the first part of this dashboard, all you have to do is take a look at the first and the second video we have actually made on this particular dashboard right here. Okay, right now what we're going to be doing now, we're going to be focusing on the search bar we have right here. Let me have this one closed. Now I've closed all of them. So we want to concentrate our effort today on this particular search bar. The search bar has the information we have right here. I'm just going to go right and search for Ismail. You sure? So once I actually hit enter, guess what happens? It populates this particular the information about this Ismail issue right here for us, the religion, the age, down to the employment. Here it gives us everything. And if you don't know what to type, what you have to do is just to go to the data search right here and actually pick any name from the full names right here. If I pick this right now, I'm going to right click and copy. And I'm going to go to my dashboard right here. I'm going to place my cursor here and right click on it and actually go on paste as value. Now guess what happens? It changes, and here is it. You can see it's equal to what we have right here. This is exactly what we're going to be doing today. So are you ready? Let us go straight and start to create this from the scratch. So we are right on the workbook. I told you, if you have not watched my first video tutorial, the second tutorial, you have to go and actually watch this and actually know how to create this all from the scratch. It's free for you guys. Now the first thing I'm going to be doing right now is that we want to actually take a look at how we can add a search bar right here and how we can populate some information right here every single time we make a search. Now the first thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to go right here to the little view and turn on the formula bar and as well the headings. Now we have all this. Now let me show you what I'm going to do, and the reason I'm going to do that is if I actually make a move of any of this right now, you see my chart will start getting weird. If I move this right now, it's going to affect all those charts we have right here, and it start dancing to this other end. So I'm going to Control Z and have it back to normal. So what I'm going to do right now is this. I'm just going to make sure I actually click on any of the card or any of the visual and do Control A and highlight every single thing we have right here. Now we have it highlighted. Do not let a single part of it to be deselected. Place your cursor, make sure you're having this cross and right click on it, and once you actually right click, make sure, okay, now you're going to have this and go to Format Object and click on it. Now once you have Format Object, go to Size and Properties, and after Size and Properties, what you're going to see is everything's going to be closed. Just go to Properties right here and go to Don't Move or Size with Cells. So just make sure you click on it and have it closed, and this time around you can deselect and actually mess around with your dashboard. Nothing is going to happen. It's going to look very cool. So this is how we begin the journey of our dynamic searching. So I'm going to actually have here clicked and drag it to this end because I want to have a very long search area. So I have something like this. Beautiful, right? It's not affecting any of our visuals. So after I might have done that, I'm going to turn this to this particular color right here. I'm going to go to this home and I'm going to hit on this, and here I'm going to place my cursor on this dark red. So I have that right now. I think once I have this dark red, you can see the text is some kind of black and we can't really see it very well. So first of all, we want to centralize the text. I'm going to centralize it. It's been centralized, and the next I'm going to change the color of the text to something like this, and I'm going to make it some kind of thicker, and I'm going to actually have to crank it up a little bit. So we are good with this, but we're not really too good. I'm just going to make sure I bring this up a little bit, and I'm going to make sure I bring this down to make it wider. So we have something like this. I think I love this. Okay, but I'm not too convinced with this. I'm just going to make sure I expand it a little bit. So nicely done. Nicely done. So it's not affecting our visuals we have right here. So once we have just done this, this is just part one of this. So if you look at what happens in the previous video, is that when we search for something, we have a white background. If we have it cleared out, we now have this background, and we have some text beneath it that tells us that we can use the search bar to search for employees. And we have this search, and we have this sign right here, or this search icon right here, whatsoever. So now we want to do the same thing. How do we go about that? I'm going to go back right here, and now we want to add a shape to this particular part of the dashboard. And how do we add that shape? Go to Insert, and from Insert go to Shape, and from Shape you want to go to this particular rounded rectangle and actually click on it. So now I'm going to actually make sure I have it right here. I'm going to make sure it covers and covers down to this aspect. So what I'm going to do next is just for me to right click on it, or Control 1, you take this format shape out, and once you have this, make sure you go to fill and say no fill. Now we have this. So what we're going to be concerning ourselves right now with is just the width. So right now I'm just going to crank the width up until I'm satisfied with what I have. Okay, I'm going to crank the width up. Okay, now I'm cool with this. I'm going to place my cursor right here. Make sure when you place your cursor right here, this particular part that is showing right here is not showing. Now I'm going to make sure I actually drag this out and actually go right here, place my cursor right here, so it's not showing any longer. I'm cool with what I have, right? I can actually go ahead and make sure the rounded part is just not too, okay, not exactly as round as this. So now let me test this. I think I'm cool with this. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is to turn the background of this particular shape into the background of the dashboard right here where I have clicked. So let us go and find out. If we can't find the background, we do that. Can we find it? I guess there is no background. Okay, we just find it. This is the exact background, and the background looks just like what we want, what we should have, and this is exactly what it is. So now the next thing we're going to do right now is that every single time we have a text just like what we have right now, we just want to have a white background with a dark color of text. So how do we go about that? So we want to customize that right now. So the thing we're going to do right now is this. I'm going to open a new tab. Okay, now new worksheet is being added. I'm going to actually make here to be search. So that is where our search is going to start from. And I'm going to actually make sure I crank it up just like this. Here I have it. So I'm going to actually come back to this. Okay, here I'm going to put my equal to and use a function called count A. So once I actually add this count A, I'm going to go to my dashboard. I'm going to say this. I'm going to hit enter, and it's going to tell me 1. Why? Is because I have a text entered here, it tells me 1, and if I have it clear, it's going to give me 0. So I go back to the dashboard, go back to search, it gives me 0. So this is what is going to determine what kind of color we want to have right there. So go back to the dashboard again. I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to go to conditional formatting. That is where we're going to actually do all the magic. So go to home and hit on conditional formatting, and make sure you go to new role, and from new role you're going to use a formula to determine which cells to format. And once you get that, just make sure you have your cursor right here and go back to search and just click on this and say if it is equal to 1. So I want to have a white background on it, and go to border and say no border. Go to font color, and I'm going to choose bold. I'm going to choose the kind of color I really wanted. I'm going to choose this particular type of color. I don't want a very bright dark black whatsoever. So now I'm going to go to fill right now and choose this white color right here. I'm going to hit on OK, and I'm going to say OK to it, and right now nothing happens. So watch me type something right now, and I hit enter. Can you see that? The color changes. Beautiful, right? Now that is one aspect of it. If you look at the previous one, we have search right here, and now I want to add that. I'm just going to cancel this, and you see it changes the color first. So now to add a search, you can actually copy anyone from here right now. You can copy it and bring it down right here, and actually make sure I type in my search. So my search has been typed in. I can go ahead and actually check this search, make sure it sits right in here, and actually make sure it's actually right on it. I'm gonna make sure it's on bold, and I'm gonna make sure it's on pure white right now, and I'm gonna go right here and okay, fine. So it's on white color right now, it's showing fine. I'm gonna make sure I drag it and make it okay. Beautiful. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is that we need to have a search icon right there. So we don't want to reinvent that, so I can actually go ahead and copy from my previous one. Here we go. I'm going to copy this. Just Ctrl C will help me to copy this. I'm going to take it right there and show you how everything goes. So I can come right here and have it pasted first, and actually make sure I take it down to where I want to have it. So now we have it right there. It's showing search. And if I go ahead and actually make this search right now and hit enter, That is how you see that it disappears, because we have it on a white background. You'll be thinking it's a very huge magic. That is not magic. It's all about you working with your IQ. So right now I can have it clear, and what you're gonna see now is that when I want to have it clear, you're gonna have it back again nicely. We've just done this part of it. So the next thing is actually how can we include that particular search function that every single time we search for a name of a person, we have the particular person's information populated right on the sidebar right here. So let's go and get that done. So we have this part as a guide for us to get the column we really want to pull right here. So I can go to my data, and from there I'm going to click right here and go to the top level right here and go to insert. You know how we used to do it. So just go to pivot table, and from pivot table you're going to see the pivot table is all the whole chart is all highlighted. I'm going to actually go for existing worksheet because already I have a worksheet added for us which is called search. I'm going to click on that right here. I'm going to actually have this one click down, and I'm going to say OK. So right now where we're going to start from is the full name. So I'm just going to go to my full name and have it dragged in right here. Now I have my full name. So before I continue this, I want to have this actually formatted because I want to have the header rightly. So I'm just going to go to data, and sorry, I'm going to go to design, and from design I'm going to go to layout. From layout I'm going to go to show in tabular form, and here I'm going to go to grand total and turn it off. Even though if we can't see it, it added it for us. And the next thing is actually this salutation. The salutation right here, I don't need it. I don't need to have the salutation. I'm going to go to the salutation and actually right click and have it deleted. I want to move it away because I did not use it. So I'm going to click back on it. I'm going to click on gender. I'm going to drag it down. I'm gonna go to it. So now before I actually continue doing this, I want to format it so that it can look some kind of very nice for us. So still make sure you have it clicked in and go to the top level right here and actually hit back on design, and from design you want to actually go to subtotal and say do not show subtotal. Now we have it nicely. So what about this plus and add sign, minus and plus sign right here? I want to take it off. How do we do that? Go back to your pivot table format and actually click on analyze, and from there you can see this button right here. Just click on it and we have them away. So right click, we are on it. So I want to choose this age right here. We have our age on it, and we want to go for religion. So we have religion, faith, and we want to go for nationality. So for nationality, I'm going to click on my nationality right here. I'm going to have it right there. For marital status, I'm going to have it. And we want to locate department. I'm going to search for department. And I have my department right here. I got it. So the next thing I'm going to actually get right now is actually employment status right here. I'm going to get it. And the phone number of that is mobile number of the employee. And the employment year is what I really need right now. So if I can't find it, I can actually go and make a search. Right now I can find the employment here right here. I think the employment here is somehow been added. Okay, we have employment status right on it, and employment here we do not have employment here. I want to search. I think I renamed that particular part. I just want to have to search for what it is. I want to just hire date. No, that is not what it is. Okay, what we need to actually pull right there is the hire date. So when I look for hire date right here, I think you can see the hire date. We're just going to click on it, and what you're going to have is actually it's going to default to month, quarter, and date, and we don't want all that. So what we just want is the year column right here, and I'm going to go down and move the hire date off. I'm going to take the month away. I'm going to take the quarter away, and I'm going to be left with just the year right here. I think we are good to go. This is exactly what we need to actually have right here. Okay, fine, beautiful. We have this. So I think something is some kind of a little bit weird right now. We have to take care of that. Okay, right now we are clear. There is no error, so we are free to go and start creating this. So this is what we have. We have everything right now. So make sure every single column will carry your single information. Like this particular Abdulaziz Rajab Qasim right here must not be a male and a female, and must not have two ages, and must not have two religion, else there will be a problem when it comes to searching, and for you to actually display which particular information you will know what it is. So right, that is why you should just need to make sure one single column carries. Like if I actually go ahead and copy this now and actually copy from here, I'm going to copy, I'm going to go to the main data sets right here, and I'm going to go search for this particular full name right on the data. I'm just going to search for this. have this pasted right here. Control V, we have it pasted. It's going to search for this particular person. I'm going to actually highlight it. So it only appeared once right here. That is why it is very easy for us to make a search. So I'm going to go back. I can have it cleared or go back right now. No need. And we're going to start to create this. So what I'm going to do for the first time is just to make sure I copy the header. So once I have the header copied from here, so I want to close this right now because we don't need it. So we have to shift this. I'm going to actually make sure I have it shifted. I'm going to have to paste this right here. I'm going to paste it as value. So I've done this. So the next thing I'm going to do right now, I'm just going to define, I'm going to actually make sure I zoom out a little bit. So make it smaller for we to actually get this done. Oh, it's too small. Okay, fine. I think I'm going to be good with this. So I'm just going to come right here and highlight it from this particular end down to this end. And what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to hold on my control and shift and then the down arrow. So we now have it to actually surround it down to the last part of it. And we want to have this particular part defined. I'm going to place my cursor right here and call it some kind of range underscore search. So range underscore search. So that is exactly what it is. So because when I use function to actually get this determined. So this is exactly where we're going. So we're about to actually create the full search right here. But those names, I don't want to have those names here basically, but we just need to actually have them right there for now. And I'm going to come down right here and start writing the formulas I want to use to pull my information out. So let me zoom to let you see what is going on right here. So I'm just going to go to the top level. So right now I want to use formula to determine what comes here and what doesn't. So I'm just going to put my equal to and use my if condition. So I'm going to say if, and I want to go back to that particular count A with the data times. I'm just going to shift to this aspect, and now here it will go. If this 0 here is equal to 1, then I want you to just give me this. I'm going to put my comma. Now it's telling me if that is true, what do I want? So give me the other we have right here. And if it's not, I want it to give me nothing. So I can have it closed right now. I'm going to hit enter. And here it gives me nothing because, can you see that? The formula is right here. And I can go ahead and drag it to the other end. And actually go this way and have this drag down to this end right here. So we have our formula right on it. So I'm going to go back to my dashboard and have something typed here. I'm going to type here, okay, I think is Ismail, Isha. So once I hit enter right now, it's going to be equal to 1. So I'm going to have the header populated right now. Go back to search. I think we should have it. Okay, we have it right here. And something happens is that we actually don't lock the first cell right here down. That is why the problem is actually happening. So we need to actually have this locked down. Surround it with a dollar sign. I'm gonna hit OK. So I have to go back again and have it dragged. And once I actually get here, I'm gonna release my mouse, and here we have it. So what we're gonna do right now is I'm just gonna make sure I hold on my just highlight everything and double click right here, and it actually makes sure it distributes the way it should be. So now I've gotten this done. The next thing we're going to do right now is just to make sure we get the values right here. So I'm just going to use VLOOKUP to actually capture every data I really wanted. That is how simple we can actually create this. I'm going to hit on my equal to, and from equal to I'm going to use my VLOOKUP, and you know what VLOOKUP is a very powerful function. So now watch me. The reason why I have that range actually defined, you're going to see it right now. And what we need to look up, so we want to look up this particular value coming from this H right here. So we don't need to actually lock this down because we don't want to drag this. So I can actually put on my comma, and it's asking me for the table array. And watch me give it the table array. I'm going to go back. Before I give it the table array, I'm going to go back to my search right here, and I'm going to come back here. I'm going to have this off. So for the table array, I'm going to say range, and here is my range search I have actually created. Now, if I actually scroll a little bit back here now, you're going to see that it has it highlighted automatically for us. So we don't need to go back right there and actually make a new selection. And if our data accumulated, we can have it deleted, and it's going to update right here for us. So now I'm going to actually give it comma, and it's going to be asking me for index number. So for the index number, for now, I'm just going to say 1. And for the match, it's going to be true, which is exact match 0. I'm going to actually have it closed. I'm going to say OK, and now it gives me what I have searched. Exactly the search I did right there is what I have right here. Let's go back to see what we have right in the dashboard. This is the search. And if if I go right on the data, okay, I'm gonna have to clear I think I have, I don't know where I have that on it. I just want to clear the filter. So I've gotten the filter cleared. I want to copy this name from here. I'm going to copy this name from here. I'm going to go to my dashboard right now. I'm going to have the name pasted right on my dashboard. I'm going to paste it. So if we go back, this is the same name it's going to search for. So go search, and now it searches for this particular name right here. So what are we going to do? If I actually go ahead and copy this to this particular end right now, it's going to show me not available, all true, and we just don't want to actually start changing numbers from here. Instead, we want to use what we call match. And to use match, what are we going to do? I'm just going to go to this particular where we have one right here. I'm going to use match instead of using that particular number right there. So what are we going to look for? So the match is looking for a lookup value. The lookup value is going to be what we have right here. And after that, I'm going to put on my comma. So my comma is looking for lookup array right here. What is the lookup array? So the lookup array is where can we find something that actually comprises all this we have at the top level right here. I think it's very easy. So we to come back right here and start actually making sure we have all this selected. So we can do it the other way around, just like what we've done right here. We actually create a range for it and we actually make a reference to the range, but I think this is actually going to be simple. And that is exactly done. So now match, I think, is the exact match. We're gonna leave this 0 right here. I'm gonna come here and actually make this for my VLOOKUP. I'm gonna put on my comma right there, and I'm gonna still put on that 0 right here, and then I have this closed, and that is all. We have it closed, and I hit enter, and we have it. So now guess what? If I have this moved, there is gonna be a little problem right now still. There's a problem. Why is the problem happening? So I'm just going to come to this particular aspect and double click on it and actually come right here, and you see it's actually extending from this beginning of this particular part right here down this end, and it extended it down here for us. So now it's a very big problem. So we have to solve that problem right here before we move on. Now this is exactly where we need to actually fix. We need to fix here. That is exactly, we want to fix this header. I want to make it static to be right here. The only part we want to actually start moving every single time we copy back is actually the top right here. It should move from this particular full name down to gender, age, down to the last one. So we need to actually surround this with our $sign as usual. You understand that? So you can actually make it automatically. And once I hit enter right now and actually drag it for the last time again, what I'm gonna have is actually this, and it's still giving me this attitude. So let us see where the mistake is right now. Do we have any mistake again? We want to check for that. I don't think so. We should actually go and look at what the problem is. Okay, we can fix this once and for all. So let me take you to where the problem is. Every single time we make a copy, this is actually moving from H right here, from H4 right here down to H, down to I4, J4, K4, L4, and all that. So we want to have that particular part locked down. It's a very silly mistake of mine. I'm going to go back to here right now. I'm going to have this particular H surrounded, just like as I've done right now. I've surrounded it. That was exactly what we didn't do right here that actually affected it. Now you can see it's moving to I4. Here it's moving to J4. Here it's moving to K4, just like what we have right here. It's moving away from H. And we want it to be static right here on H. I'm going to go back. Once I've done that, I'm going to actually have to copy from this end down to here. I'm going to release it. And here we have everything we needed. So beautifully, we have all this. So if we go and make a change of the search right now to something else, like if I search for uh, Ismail Yusha like usual, so now I'm gonna have it populated with everything that has to do with this particular person we have searched right here. So what we need to do right now is for we to actually start populating our dashboard. So how do we do that? So first of all, I'm going to go to the top left right here, go to insert, and actually go to this particular shape area and pick up this and actually make sure I grab this and actually make this right here. So I'm sorry for my formatting, it might not be as usual, but I think you can manage my design. And actually when it gets your turn, you have to format it the way you really feel like it's going to be okay for you. So I can right click on this, go to format, and from format, what am I going to do? I'm going to actually have to change this to a very nice cool color. I think I don't want to change this part of it. I think I want to actually still use something like this, and I can actually make it oh, some kind of tick. And I can go ahead and actually go for the field color. I want to change the field color to something like this. This is the field color I want to use for it. So now for the first thing, we have to go back again. Before we go back on that, I can actually pick any of the value from here and actually make sure I have this copied and bring this right here and just change the value we have right there to the gender. So we go back to our search. From our search, the gender is the male. What we have search is male. So we can actually make sure we crank up this and actually make it bold, change the color to something like this. And here we go. So we have a male person searched, and we want to get the name of this person right here. And we can do that with ease and actually go back and pick it up. So go to search again and just pick up the name, and we bring the name right here. And we can actually make sure we extend this because we're going to be having a very long name actually after a while. So we have it just like this. So nicely, we have to go to the top level right again and change the color of this name to something nicely. I think I'm going to be cool with this and actually make it bold and actually crank it up a little bit. So we have something such like this. Every single time we make a new search, so we're going to have this. It's NA. Why is it NA? Because this is not searchable. We can't really search for this. And we want to actually make sure we give this some kind of default configuration that if something like this happens, do not display this and display some other information. So I'm going to show you how to do that in a jiffy. So for that, I'm going to actually have to clear this off. And once I have this cleared off, there is nothing being searched. It's still going to give me this attitude. But I will show you how to have it configured and control this in no time. So let us have something right here so we to actually get to, have all the values we want to have right here. I'm going to go for the same smile. You sure? So if I hit enter, I have it right here. So now let us see how we can configure this. So I'm going to actually have this brought down. And what I'm going to be considering muchly about right now is the headers we have right on it. I'm going to be doing this for once and actually do it behind the scenes so that we can actually keep the video very, very short. So I'm going to go for religion. So go for religion, and once I have clicked on my religion, what I'm going to do right now is just to make sure I select this particular head of a religion. Yeah, I'm going to select this part of color. I'm going to put it on bold and actually crank it up so it's bigger than the other part of it. So what you can do now is to actually make sure you actually replicate this and take it down. So you can actually have it on the full screen so that you would know the environment you're controlling. So I have it on the full screen right now. I can actually have it duplicated this way and all that. So I have it I'm going to be doing this behind the scene and show you how I did. So we have gotten all the values right here. So all we need to do right now is just to make sure we double click. We just click on this and go to the format painter, go to home and double click on the format painter and actually have it right on those ones we have right here. So once we have just done this, this is very beautiful. I'm going to go and put it on a full screen and show you what the magic we can actually use to get this there right now. Go to view, and from view, we can actually remove this and actually we have it on full screen. I'm going to make sure I have all of them selected at the same time. I'm going to select all of them. I'm going to have it dragged down. So exactly, I think I'm going to make sure is just like this. So nicely, I have it dragged down, and you can actually make sure you speed up your work just like this. So go right here and go back to the formula bar and turn it on. So go to formula bar, we have it back on again, and I'm going to actually make sure I go for the religious fit. You just have to go and get what is peculiar to that. So make sure you select it. So for religious faith here, I'm going to actually make sure I drag it out to this end. So it's Islam, so which is Muslim. I'm going to say okay, and you go for the age. So you just make sure you go copy the right age right here. I'm going to go for the right age. Do it on and on until you get it though. So we have to actually make sure we do this behind the scene. So we have all of them right here right now. So I can actually click on this and actually make sure I format it, but I'm not going to make it bolder as the previous one, as the header. So I'm going to make it some kind of lighter, and I'm going to actually crank it up a little bit, so not too much. Something like this is okay. Double click on it and make sure you replicate this right for this. So now it's 10 different from the header. So make sure you don't make it bolder. So there is a little problem when actually make sure we go solve right now. I'm going to show you how to solve that with ease. So if you look at this, it's just giving us ear. We can't really tell what ear is all is this. So go to the search and make a change to it. And if you make a change, automatically this is going to change. That is the reason why I said we should make that dynamic. And here we have the year. I'm going to double click on the year right here and actually come to here. I'm going to go to this and say employment here. So once I actually hit this, so if I go back to this particular end, I'm going to have this updated. So now this is what it is. We have the employment here updated, and if we come back to the dashboard, it's going to be updated as well. So beautifully, we have something nicely like this. So anything we search now, go right here and copy any employee from here, copy it. I'm going to have it copied. I'm going to go to my dashboard. I'm going to make a search of this employee right here, and if I have it pasted, oh sorry for that, I shouldn't have done that. I don't want to paste that way. It's wrong for you to paste that way. It's going to actually mess up with your words. It's going to mess up with your formatting for you. So don't do that. So copy and paste as value right here. I'm going to paste as value. Look at here, it's going to change, and all the whole value is going to change as well. This is exactly what it is. But that is exactly what I want to show you. So you can actually have it formatted and do it on a very pretty nice color. It's because we are doing demonstration. That was why I just did it the way it is right now. So if I go to the previous one, you can see this is actually nicely formatted the way it should be, right? So that is how it is. So but what about this particular part right here? Well, when we have something like this, it's going to disappear and we're not going to have anything. Does it really happen like that right on my dashboard? Let us go and test it out and see. If I actually clear it out, this is what we have. Weird, right? This is weird. We don't like this. We have to actually make sure we take control of this. How do we take control of this? Let's see to that. So to get this not available away is a very simple task which I know you know about. It's very simple to be done. So I'm just going to go back right here. So come right here and actually double click on it and actually format it. So I'm going to go to this VLOOKUP right here. I'm going to use if error right on this. So if error, is going to clear this. So if error, so what are you going to do right now if there's any error? So make sure if there's an error, come right here and actually just give me nothing. But if there is no error display anything, you actually pulled out from this particular formula definition we have right here. I'm just going to say okay, now you see that. So I'm just going to have it dragged down to this end. So exactly, if I go back to my dashboard, I have it cleared out, and if I have something searched like so now I'm gonna have it. So and if I have it deleted, so I'm gonna have something like this. Can you get a code right now? But what about if what I displayed right here, if I have something different searched? So we don't have this existing. I'm gonna have all this, but I'm not gonna have something showing right here because it's an error. So I want to display an information here, just like what we have on our previous dash, but I'm gonna take you right there. So let me take you to the dashboard itself. I'm going to take it to the dashboard. I'm going to search for what is not there, just like this, blah, blah, blah. And once I hit enter, I'm going to have employee not found retry. So how do we display such information to our end users to know that what he or she had searched? Sometimes we might search, like we want to search for Ismail, and we put A before we say you sure. So now it's as a reminder that what we've just searched is actually not correct. It's an incorrect word, so we have to change it. So how do we do this? Let us go and look at that. Okay, we're going to start to configure that particular message right here. So for the first time, what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to hit on my equal to right here and use if condition to determine what I really want. So I'm going to say if this full name here is equal to nothing, what is going to happen? So I'm going to put on my equal to first. Is equal to empty, which is nothing. So what do I want it to display? I'm going to say display yes. So I'm going to show you the reason why. Else, just display 1. That means if it has full name written on it, so display 1, I'm going to have it closed, and it's going to give me 1 because already I have it actually with what with full name. I'm going to show you why I'm doing this in a jiffy, and you understand the reason why we should configure it. Okay, the same thing we have done for this particular full name, the header. It's still the same thing I want to do right here. I'm just going to put on my equal to and use my if condition again to say if this cell that contains what the value we pull when we actually make a search, that is the value of the employee, is equal to nothing, So what you're gonna give me now, just give me yes. So give me yes, else just give me one. I'm gonna hit enter. I have yes and one because we have two different things. So we have here to be displaying our full name, and here is displaying nothing. So I'm gonna go back to my search bar right now and actually make a search right here. This time around, I'm gonna search for something very correct. Ismail, you sure? So if I hit enter, I'm gonna go back. What am I gonna see? I'm gonna see one all true. It's gonna be all one. You understand? It's gonna be all one. But what if I have some kind of cleared and go to it again? It's gonna be yes, all true. This is how we actually get that particular message configured. Else we're gonna have errors. So let us go back and actually make sure we have this right here. I'm gonna have some jargons inside here, and I hit enter so that if I go, I can see something to be very visible. I see these two things right now. So I'm just gonna make sure I actually bring it down. I'll bring it up and actually have the visible. Now this is where I have my message configured. First of all, I'm gonna ask is this equal to this? It's gonna tell me false. So it's false. So if I go back right now and make sure I actually put on my Ismail, you sure? So it's gonna be equal to. So right now go back. So it's gonna be true. That is how we declare the message. So let's see how we do that. So what we need to do right now, beneath here, I'm gonna say equal to if this here is equal to true. So true, and I'm gonna actually say, okay, if this is equal to true, just display nothing, else just give me these messages. So just give me this message, and actually I'm gonna close it, and I'm gonna hit close, I'm gonna enter. So it's gonna give me nothing because it's actually true. So if I go back right now and I have it cleared out, I'm gonna still see that it's still empty because it's true, it's equal, yes and yes, and it's true. What if I just go right here right now and type in jargons and actually go back to my search? I'm gonna have employee not found because what I have actually typed here is rubbish. So I'm gonna get this particular one right here, as I'm gonna get this particular fit. Religious fit. I think I should actually get this around here, I presume. I'm gonna get that around here. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna pick it up from here. I can actually make adjustment after all. So I'm gonna make sure I actually put it in red color. So something like this will be fine. I'm gonna put it on bold so that it can be visible to everyone. So now can you see that? So if I go ahead now and make a search of Ismail, Yusha we had been using previously before now, so it's gonna actually get disappeared once I hit enter. So it disappears and the other part of it comes out. This is beautiful, right guys? This is exactly what I want to show you how to create beautifully. So now for the slicers, I'm going to show you I'm going to give you a tutorial to actually go ahead and actually watch to see how you can actually create your own slicer. Now beautifully we've just done this, and we have the slicer actually right here already, but I don't want to actually go ahead and do this right now because I have a dedicated video you can actually watch to know how to format your slider the way it should be. So I'm going to put a link beneath this very video. Watch that particular video and actually see how you can actually configure your own slider and make sure the slider works right on this. So I want to say thank you very much if you are still watching to this end. You are a very big blessing to me. You've blessed me, you've blessed my channel. I want to keep growing this channel, so all you have to do is to keep actually coming, share, like, subscribe if you've not subscribed, and actually make the community very bigger so that you can have more zeal, more energy to create good content for you guys. So for the last time, I want to say thank you very much from Nigeria. I love you guys, and I want to stay connected with you. Keep coming and keep coming over and over again as I upload. God bless us.